Hey everyone, it's Ryan here with my review for WWE Money in the Bank 2022. Quite fitting that I'm wearing green because, green money and pay-per-view is very green themed. So there were um, 6 matches on the show. So basically, they're the pre-show. Nothing really happened on it. I don't get why they have the pre-show now because, I get it's to advertise the pay-per-view and get the last-minute buys in, but nothing happens on it. So basically, I just wait for the main show. Didn't do any predictions for this one, basically just because I was working all week and it wasn't brought up too much in the group chat that I'm in. No one did predictions. I basically will do predictions on here and everything if a group of friends actually do them as well. So we'll start off with the first match, which was the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match for basically the championship contract. So we had Liv Morgan, Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Becky Lynch, Lacey Evans, and Raquel Rodriguez, and also Shotzi. I'll be honest, I don't see the appeal to Shotzi. Of the few times I've seen her, she's been very sloppy in the ring, and she did that a few times here again. Raquel Rodriguez had a bit of a strong showing. Becky Lynch definitely did. Everyone got their own stuff in. Obviously, the fan favourite was Liv Morgan. I believe it was in her hometown, and her family was there watching. And yeah, there's a bit where she does. I think Raquel throws her over the top on the ladder, and she basically grabs Lacey who's underneath Raquel, and does some set flip power bomb. Becky Lynch does a leg drop off a ladder onto Asuka, but she sort of slips off the front as well. That looked a bit painful. Yeah, Shotzi at one point, I think she gets Alexa in some electric chair drop position, basically on her shoulders like that, and she starts falling backwards into the ladder, and it looks very bad. But yeah, after all that, Liv Morgan and I believe it's Becky Lynch at the top. Basically, they have two ladders side by side. Liv's on the smaller one. Becky goes to push her to her side. Liv puts her foot on the rope, kicks back, knocks Becky off the bigger ladder, then climbs the bigger ladder herself and retrieves a briefcase. So Liv Morgan wins the briefcase. I think it's pretty nice for her because obviously she's been proving over the last year or so that she's been developing as a single superstar. She's been on those main stories with Rhea Ripley. There's that time where she was close to beating Bianca but wasn't able to. She's definitely been improving in the ring and kind of in a way to show that she wins here. I'm not saying I don't get the appeal to Liv. Like I said, I do appreciate that she's improving and stuff like that, but it's like some people with Sasha, it's like some people with Charlotte, it's like some people with some other people. When you get those stan accounts and they're just so over the top, it's weird. Basically, that's basically what put me off Liv, is just those people. So I can only imagine what they were like when she won. One thing I was saying when the match ended, basically, because we were talking about it in our group chat, I was saying that I do hope she at least holds it for a couple of months. But WWE being WWE, women aren't allowed to hold them for over 24 hours, which we'll get into later. In the second match, Bobby Lashley versus Austin Theory. Well, I think it's just Theory. They just seem to switch between Austin Theory and just Theory. It's a singles match for the US Championship. Bobby straight away very dominant on Theory. Basically they're trying to do the corner spot where he basically throws him into the ring post. Theory avoids that sometimes. Eventually gets him in it. At one point, Bobby Lashley's going to go for a spear, and as he goes, Theory just basically cowers in the corner, falls into essentially the field position, just literally holding his head like that. I was like, I've never seen a bad guy do that before, and it's really clever. And basically he uses that to basically kick Bobby Lashley in the head. At one point he goes for from outside the rope, roll into the ring. I'm guessing he's going for something. Basically he does it later into a drop kick, but basically he does the roll, and Bobby immediately puts him into military press, and I thought that was a really cool spot. Eventually Theory goes for his finishing move. Bobby Lashley reverses it, puts the hurt lock in, and eventually Theory taps out, and Bobby Lashley is your new United States champion. I believe it's the third time he's held this now. Very good match between these two. I really enjoyed this one. Like I said, it was nice seeing Theory. Basically, the whole thing is Theory thinking that he's more powerful and has more strength than Bobby Lashley, and basically just being proved wrong. Basically trying to cower his way out of the match. It doesn't work. Bobby eventually gets the win. Like I said, I had a lot of fun with that one. The next match, Bianca Belair versus Carmella for the Raw Women's Championship. So originally it was going to be Rhea Ripley, but unfortunately she's got like I think she's got like brain and jaw injuries or something like that. So yeah, essentially she had to be taken out of the match. So they had a fatal four way, which Carmella won. It's fine. My only problem is we did this last year. We had Bianca versus Carmella 3 times in a row last year, almost 3 times in a row actually. Because SummerSlam when Becky returned and actually beat Bianca. Here I'm sort of fearing the same thing because basically Bianca beats Carmella after 7 minutes. Nothing too eventful in this. It was just a lot of them basically trash talking each other. Eventually Bianca gets the win. And then Carmella attacks her after the match and it's like some weird last stand. It's like, yeah, I got you Mella's money. And it's like, you lost. Like, what are you proving here? You just lost to her. And then you attack her from behind and go, oh yeah, that's right. So basically they're setting up a rematch down the line, I'm guessing, at SummerSlam. My only concern is it's going to be, this, like I said, the same as last year. Basically, Carmella comes out, then Bayley shows up. It'll be like, the only thing that would make it really weird, considering last year it was meant to be Bianca and Sasha, and then for whatever reason Sasha couldn't wrestle, so then they put Carmella instead. If they do this and then basically Sasha comes back and just wins, that'd be really weird. Like, it's very doubtful it's Sasha with the whole situation that's going on. But I guess we'll wait till SummerSlam to find out. In the next match, which for me personally was match of the night, the Usos versus the Street Profits for the Undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships went for 23 minutes, and do you know what? I loved every single minute of this. Like, everyone goes on about how great the Usos and the New Day are. Street Profits are definitely in that shout for the best tag teams in WWE, especially in the modern day. So many great moments where I thought the Street Profits were going to win, late kickouts. Montez just showing just how great he is. Angelo Dawkins showing how much he's improved. The ending, at first, I was a bit worried about because I thought after this amazing match they messed it up. But by the looks of it, it's going to be a storyline, and if it means a rematch down the line, I'm totally up for it. Eventually, the Usos basically hit their finishers, like they do the 1D, especially if the 3D puts their one because it's day 1D. And he gets the pin, and basically as I'm watching it, Montez is literally hugging whichever Uso it was like this, and I'm like, how is his shoulder not up? And like the ref's counting, no problem, does it, and then the whole time Montez is literally like, my shoulder was up. Like, ref, how'd you miss that? My shoulder was up. And then they show the replay. Like, that's the thing that sort of baffles me sometimes. Sometimes the replay is visible to the wrestler, and like the referee won't watch it, which is the very bizarre thing. And basically he's literally watching it, he goes, look, my shoulder was up. Like, literally goes up, my shoulder, you saw right there, look, my shoulder was up. Like that. And then basically he's going to the commentators, like, what the hell? Like, why did the ref end the match? And then all this stuff, and then they're walking off, like, distraught. So my guess is we're getting a rematch at SummerSlam. I am completely up for that. Maybe Street Profits win, who knows? But maybe a stipulation, 2 out of 3 falls, no disqualification, who knows? Like I said, amazing match. Like, I could happily watch that match again. The next match, Ronda Rousey versus Natalya for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Story to this one being that Natalya and Ronda Rousey have sort of gone back to back on each other. Their internet, like their Twitter stuff has been better than the actual on-screen stuff. Natalya doing this whole I'll make you tap out with my rack out, because basically Ronda's like, oh, you and your sister have this really weird incest thing going on, because you basically, essentially, if you watch their videos like on YouTube and stuff, it's very they're a little too close, if you know what I mean. But essentially, yeah, Natalya's basically been taking the mick out of Ronda, dressed like her, basically going, I'm Ronda Rousey, I'm doing this, blah, blah, blah. A lot of like submission based offense in this. Obviously, like Ronda going for the arm, Natalya going for the leg. There's a great moment by Ronda, which is why I really wish they could do this version of Ronda, rather than they try and get her to keep doing promos, which doesn't work. Basically, she puts the sharpshooter on Natalya, and she does the Shawn Michaels like that pose, and it's so nice. It was such a great thing to see. At one point, Ronda hurts her leg. I think like Natalya throws her out the ring or something. And basically, she takes a weird fall. They then put that in a sharpshooter. Eventually, Ronda gets like an armbar and her legs around Natalya's head. Natalya eventually taps out. And then after a while, Liv Morgan's music plays and she comes running in, cashes in, immediately gets a foot caught, is put into an ankle lock, and everyone's going, oh no, they're going to mess it up and make Ronda win. Um, Eventually, Liv manages to get out of it by attacking the leg, and then she gets her in a roll up, 1, 2, 3, and Liv Morgan is your new SmackDown Women's Champion. And like I said with the Liv stands before, you can only imagine how they are now. I'm very happy for her, to be honest. Like I said, she's been improving over the past year. She's definitely proved that she is like in title contention. Where this goes down the line, who knows? Maybe Liv versus Natalia, Liv versus Shayna. I think everyone was sort of hoping Liv versus Rhea. I think that's why some people, sort of like me, wanted to have her hold on to it for a bit. Like Rhea could have a match with Bianca and then win, and then Liv could cash in on Rhea as to get revenge for essentially what happened with the whole Judgment Day stuff. But yeah, like I said, I'm very happy for Liv to have won. There was Ziggler 2013 level pops with that. Like when she's in the submission, everyone's like, no, Liv, don't tap. Like when Del Rio had the armbar on Ziggler, and then Ziggler basically attacked the leg because Jack Swagger before that had been hurting it with the ankle lock, and then basically hits the finisher and wins that way. And obviously there's a massive reaction to when it wins. Liv gets a massive reaction here, which is really great to hear. And then finally on to the Money in the Bank ladder match for the World Championship match contract for the men's one. We have Drew McIntyre, Madcap Moss, Omos, Riddle, Sami Zayn, Seth freaking Rollins, and Sheamus. And as they're doing the entrances, Adam Pearce comes out, announces an 8th entrance. It's Theory. And then the writing was on the wall with that one. Unfortunately, I don't know why they decided to do it last minute. Like, they never addressed that an 8th spot had to be filled. How many were in the women's one? Okay. Liv, Alexa, Asuka, Becky Lynch, Lacey, Raquel, Shotzi. 7. So why can't there be 7 for the men? Like, I get the story is basically Theory is Vince McMahon's protege. So basically probably had a word and got him into the match because he lost the US title. But yeah, like I said, there was a lot of great moments in this. Riddle essentially had a great show. Omos had his moments at times, but obviously he was just taken out, sort of similar to Braun Strowman. There's a great moment where 6 of them have him in a powerbomb position, basically just shield bomb him into the announce table. A bit that did make me laugh is when Omos is in the ring straight away, taking everyone out. Sammy is on the corner post, but like on the camera you can see him, but where Omos is in the ring, you can't see Sammy behind the ring post, and Sammy's just like, oh, please don't see me, please don't see me, please don't see me. So that was really funny. Like I said, Riddle had a great show here. At one point he hits the RK Bro, well basically it's the RKO, on Seth off the ladder. Eventually, Riddle's up there, Theory climbs up, basically knocks Riddle off, takes the briefcase for himself, so then he wins. Theory is Mr. Money in the Bank. I get the whole heel heat thing to basically make you hate it, but I just hate when last minute additions have to win. But again, we'll see where it goes from here. I think people were sort of hoping Drew wins, or for the whole Seth and Cody story, Seth wins, and then it leads to like Seth cashing in on Roman to repeat WrestleMania 31, and then Cody can go after Seth for the title when he returns, which will basically be in March, like around WrestleMania time. Yeah, it was just I don't know, a bit of a damp ending having Theory win, considering he just lost early in the match. It's like, basically, because the rumour was Cody was meant to obviously be in it as well and then win the briefcase, but because of his injury, he's not. So Theory was apparently a last-minute replacement, despite the fact there was no announcement of, there's this vacated spot, the 8th spot must be filled and will be announced on the night. It was literally just dropped in last second. But yeah, like I said, it like, I'm probably just jumping into this too much. Like, there's a whole story at Theory and John Cena were meant to have this confrontation. They do a bit on the Raw when it was Cena's 20th anniversary, but nothing really comes of it. Apparently it's meant to be Theory versus John Cena at SummerSlam. I don't know where we go from here. I'm hoping maybe down the line, Theory, because he's so cocky over someone, puts his contract on the line. I remember they did that with Dolph a couple of times with like Chris Jericho. That was pretty cool, and obviously Dolph versus John Cena that year. So maybe we could have that. I don't know. Um, but yeah, also on the night, which a few interesting things happened. They had this backstage segment from earlier in the day with Alexa Bliss going into a locker room. Lily sat there and she's like, "Oh, Lily, what you got there?" And basically, she's got the Capital One card. Is WWE's really crap advertising. Immediately gets booed so heavily. Everyone's just booing over the rest of the segment because it is so shit. But also the most interesting, well, basically a couple of things that showed up which I thought were pretty cool. You then sort of learn that with American audiences they get commercials. There's a promo package for The Miz on like a career retrospective, and I was like, yeah, Miz is really cool, isn't he? And they did the same thing for Kevin Owens, same for Drew McIntyre as well. And then also we got this mysterious vignette of basically like you don't see much, it's a shadowy figure, and there's quick glimpses of things. You basically see a gold medal, driver's license with Latino Heat. You see a Jeff Hardy wristband, Dudley Boy's glasses. Everyone's like, a lot of people immediately went, "Oh my god, it's Bray Wyatt because of this," and blah blah blah. And then a lot of people are saying, well, it could just be a brewed version of Edge because Edge has been taken out for a while by Judgment Day. And also, he does have a link to all those people. You know, Kurt, Jeff Hardy, Eddie Guerrero, and like the Dudley Boys. You know, famously the TLCs with the Dudleys and the Hardys. The whole Edge and Kurt Angle saga from like the late 90s. And obviously, Edge was the one that did shave Kurt Angle's hair. I'm just trying to think of where Eddie comes into it. Some people sort of theorised a little bit. It's Dominic Mysterio with the whole Latino Heat thing. But then again, what's he got to do with the Dudleys and Jeff Hardy and that lot? Like, unless he grew up idolising them. Again, they could just be red herrings or something. Or it's going to be one of these things that they do it and then nothing comes of it. We shall see. But yeah, I'm just going to go over the winners again of the show. Well, actually, before I do that, basically my general review of the show, it was a fairly solid show. Like, I enjoyed the majority of it. Like I said, I enjoyed both Money in the Bank ladder matches. I enjoyed Bobby Lashley versus Theory. I enjoyed the Usos versus Street Profits definitely the most. Bianca and Carmella, like I said, it had brief moments. I wasn't too much into it. Same with Ronda and Natalia. The cash-in definitely saved that match, in my opinion. Yeah, like I said, it was a fairly solid show. I think I enjoyed the shows more when I'm not thinking too much about them. Like, I think a lot of wrestling fans sort of do it to themselves. You still get with movies and video games as well, where something's been announced in a while back and everyone literally goes, "Oh, what if there's this? What if there's this? What's it?" And they build it up so much, and then when it's not what they expect, they just go, "Oh, it actually wasn't that good, was it?" So I thought it was a fairly solid show. Like I said, a new vignette for someone completely new. Very exciting to see that. Also, post-show, which I hope they address on SmackDown, when Theory's celebrating in the ring with the briefcase, Baron Corbin comes through the crowd and chokes Pat McAfee, drags him over the barricade, beats him up, throws him back over, hits him with the End of Days. And I'm just like, what? Oh my god. Like, this is, like, if it literally just goes to SmackDown and nothing's addressed, it's going to be so weird. Because like, if they do it that way, then it's sort of like, why not just leave it for SmackDown? Because I know that they've sort of got a match set up for SummerSlam. Another one also, Logan Paul is signed with WWE, and he's having a match with The Miz at SummerSlam. So basically, a few matches have been set already. So we've got Brock versus Roman for both titles again. We've got Miz versus Logan Paul. We've got Pat McAfee versus Baron Corbin. Like I said, possibly John Cena versus Theory. Liv versus Ronda, maybe. Like, we'll see where it goes. But yeah, I think there's an interesting thing. So I think it was at like the UFC event. That was like the following day or something. Theory, not Theory. So basically, what's his name? Asanya, Asanya, whatever his name is. The one that's like a wrestling fan, so like Batista's entrance and stuff like that. He did the Undertaker's entrance, and Vince McMahon, Stephanie McMahon, Triple H, and Pat McAfee were front row of the show, and Pat McAfee's got a neck brace on to sell the End of Days, which was pretty cool. But yeah, like I said, so the winners for the show were Liv Morgan was Miss Money in the Bank, Bobby Lashley is the new US champion. Bianca Belair retained. The Usos retained. Ronda retained, and then Liv Morgan cashed in and won and became the new SmackDown Women's Champion. And Theory is Mr. Money in the Bank. What will happen tomorrow on Raw, because it's Sunday now, it completely threw me off that Money in the Bank was a Saturday. SummerSlam is also a Saturday. Just can't remember that. Like I said, very intrigued to see what happens. But thank you for watching this. Do let me know what you think of the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one. Thank you.